Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So guys, today I am going to be working back on the Nissan Note with the motor blower issue. Do you remember I took some of the dash apart and I had to get to the motor? We'll have a recap and I'll bring the car in and show you in a second. But yeah, it's going to be a hot one today, so no hat. Today it's going to be really hot. The temperature is just heat wave again in the south of the country. I think in the north they're getting rain, and in the south we're getting blistering sunshine, which is no good working in a tin roof like this. But see how I go. If I get too hot or too flustered, then I'm going to call it a day. But let's just see how it goes. So let's bring it in. We'll have a quick recap. I'll show you a few bits and pieces. I've already done a couple of bits. I'm going to show you that as well. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys, I've got the Nissan Note back in the workshop. It's going to be a little bit of explanation here because I've got to explain what has gone on and happened with this one. Right, so the last time that you saw this, I was getting another controls for the heater, which was these. Someone said it possibly is going to be this. So I went out and got another one. Where is she? Over here. Exactly the same. Exactly the same model, except obviously it hasn't got the cables. You can see the cables that connect those three there. They've got to be put onto this one. So I will do that. But before I do that, I'm going to do a little bit of investigation as to what is going on. Because I have spoken to an auto electrician and he did come out and have a look at something for me. So basically what was going on is that on the end, you can see now it's cut off, right? Because he cut it off for me. Well, I told him to, basically. We agreed. Because if you look there, that connector is screwed. Look at it, look. It's all burnt. It's all... So we come to the conclusion that we're not getting a contact. When this goes up into the blower motor, which is here... This is the original one, by the way, and I have got another one, a new one, which is here. So we'll be putting this one in. I won't be using the original one, but I'm just going to give you an example what happens. So you've got a little circle bit there that hooks onto that there. You see that? It just hooks over like that. And then when it hooks over, you just slide it and you just push it on like that, okay? But we can't see inside now if that there has got a good connection on the live, on the burnt side, this side here. So what he said was going to be the best thing to do. Let me just pop that off if I can. There you go. So what he's saying is that there, as you flick it over, that's not connecting correctly with that pin in there, and it's not getting a contact. So you're not getting that live feed going from the wire plug to the motor. That's why he thinks it's not working. Now, this is all just, you know, if buts and maybes. There's no guarantee until we do it. So what he said, what he's done for me, so instead of using this connector here, and you can't get these, like I've tried, you cannot get this. I've spoke to so many breakers as well about getting this off for me, and they're like, no, we don't do that. The cars just get scrapped. They go, and they're not going to spend a bunch of they won't want to spend time getting to this by stripping it all down. And I said, well, why don't I come over and strip it down? And that was only sort of one or two places I could do that, but they were like right up the top of the country. So there's no There's no point. It's just financially not if it was one around here, I would have done it. But there isn't. They're just miles and miles and miles away. So it just doesn't make sense to do that. So the auto electrician said to me, the best thing to do now in this situation is to cut that plug off, which is what he's done, and crimp some connectors on the end of the two wires. You can see it there. And these connectors will just slot straight into the pins. You're with me? These connectors will slot straight into those two pins there to get the connection. So I think that's the way forward here. That's what he said anyway. There's no other real. He can't replicate that. He can't get that. He can't. You know what I mean? He said just crimp, and he done it for me. So he just crimped over these two, and we're going to give that a go. I am going to put the motor blower control switch, the new one I've got, or the second-hand new one I've got. We're going to put that one in. We're going to give it a go. We're going to connect it all up, and we're going to see if this solves it. Because I've actually got someone interested in this car, so it just seems silly not to sort of jump on it and try to get this finished and push forward if we can. But how far we're going to get today because of the heat, I don't know. So let's crack on. I'll set you up. Let's see what we can do and see if we can get this working. I might just connect it up without put it all back together. Just connect it up just to see if it will turn on and off, just to get a bit of power there. So I'd be interested. So let's let's get crack on. Let's set up. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys, that did not take long to work out. This was going on. So, anyway, what I had to do first of all is make sure that the resistor up here is plugged in, because the actual controls it's connected to the resistor and connected to the motor blower. So, you know, the way the auto electrician explained it to me was that it's got to be a complete loop in the system. So this is the one I've got, the second-hand one I've got off eBay, this control here. And this is our original one here. I haven't taken off the cables yet. You don't need to do the test. I've connected up the new one as well. This is the new motor blower. You can see that the two cables are connected into there. And you've got to make sure you get them the right way round as well. Obviously, that little hooks in. That's got to be the live, and that's the other side, yeah. I just lost that, didn't I? I just lost it down there. I don't need it, but I don't want to keep it down there. So that's that, right? So the circuit is now connected. That should work. So let me just start her up, get some power to the car. I did disconnect the battery whilst I was doing this, and I've just reconnected the battery to try the test. So in theory, once I turn that on, that should go. So you can see it's spinning. So the motor blower now works as it should. Or it works. I'm not going to take it to 4 because that is quick, but it's working. That solved our problem. Now the other question is really, is this okay? And can I put it back in? And was it just that connector there? Was it just that end that we're not getting we wasn't getting a proper contact with the live, and now we are, because the guy crimped them, done some crimps for me, and I've just pushed them on. So what I want to do now is I want to try this one. So I'm going to set you back up on the tripod. If this works like this, I'll connect this off. If it works, I'm going to keep our original one. I'm going to keep our original one and use that. And then that'll be a spare. So that was pointless getting that really. But you never know. You just never know with these kind of things what's going to solve our problem and our issue. And it looks like it was just that connector. So, but at least we're getting somewhere. At least we've pinpointed it out. It ain't a resistor. It ain't a fuse. Yeah, I've just got to now see if this works. If it does, I'm keeping it in. So let's get set back up, guys. If it works, I'm going to keep it in and we're going to put all this back together. So let's do this. Right, okay, guys, I just want to cut in there, explain what has happened, because it's hard enough as it is, but with this heat, it's really, really, I'm struggling. I'm exhausted. It don't just the slightest little like something that's difficult is making it very, very hard to work. And I've got to be honest, it was going really, really well, but I've now come across another issue, another problem, and unfortunately, we've got to take it all back out because so this is bad. So I put the controls back in, put all the wires back in, everything works as it should. You know what I mean? It all goes back to where it should, but that goes across there. That one there is the yellow one at the top. This one here is obviously the green one for the temperature. That one there, and then that one there is that one there. So that's all fine. That all goes back and it's gone back the way it should. My problem is the is getting those connections on. That has been the problem. Getting the wires to connect to those. Now, I've managed to do it, but it wasn't spinning right. It was like it was hitting or grinding something. And I just don't think the new one is right. Something's wrong with that new one. So it looks like that has got to come back out and the original one go back in. Once I get it out and switch it over, I'll show you what's happened. But basically the inside there on the live one there, that has actually come away from the connector. So yeah, I don't know, probably a cheap part, not sure. It's not an original part, it's an aftermarket, so who knows. But whatever, no matter what, that has got to come back out, and this one has got to go back in. So yeah, it looks like we're going to reuse the original stuff that we originally had after all that. But it is what it is, and things happen. So I'll set you back up. Let's see if we can get it done this time. But I'm struggling, guys. It's really, really hot and humid. I'm dehydrating. I've got to keep drinking. So yeah, let's just see what I can get done today. Let's do this. Right, guys, it ain't going very well. I've got to be honest. I'm struggling. the car's struggling to go back together. This heat is just unbearable, guys. I think I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow and continue this because I can't work anymore in this. It's too much. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow. But I just want to quickly explain what's going on. So this is now the new one, because all that happened with the new one was one of the plugs obviously come loose on the connector, the plastic clip that's inside. So I managed just to get it back on, and then the wires or the plugs can fit back in position where they should be in the right place. But when we start her up, it's not working. It's just, and even if I plug the original one back in, that's not working. So, and they both was working, weren't they? Both was working. So I really think something else is going on here as well now. So I've got to check all the fuses that are underneath there to make sure that we've got power going to the system. We've got power going to this, but nothing's going to that. And they were both working earlier. So something's going a little bit of a, something's not quite going right here. And I've had both of these blower motors. I had both of them inside and both spinning, but it sounded like something was hitting it from the inside. Like when I put it on one, it'd be okay. As soon as you put it on two, it'll be like it's spinning, but it's whacking something or hitting something inside. Both of them, they're both doing the same thing. So I'm wondering now if that was the reason why the original plug burnt out, because it started to hit something on the inside, and it caused friction or something in the motor, and that's why it burnt out. I just really don't know, but we've got to come back to this tomorrow. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to come back tomorrow, guys, and we're going to get down to the bottom of this and hopefully put it all back together. But for now, I'll see you soon. Right, okay, guys, it is the next day, and I have got the air conditioning set up as well, just to help as much as I can in here, because again, we have got a very hot day today. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to try and do as much as I can on this, see if I can pinpoint the problem, the issue. Just keep going until it's like, do you know what? I've had enough. I'm going home. I'm not working in this. It's just terrible. It's like it's tin roof. It's just the heat is just like a greenhouse. It's just really bad. So it is what it is. But hopefully that helps just a little bit for me to carry on. So let's carry on. Let's get set up. I'm going to try now to have a look at these fuses. That is what I need to do first. I think it's one of these in here that we've got a problem with. Don't think it's the relays. I think it's a fuse. So I'm going to get my power probe up here. Let's get that out. And I'm going to connect this up. And I'm going to use this power probe. And I'm going to check every single fuse to see if I can find a blown one. If I can find a blown one, I'm going to replace it. And then check to make sure the fan is working, the blower motor is working, and it is okay to continue. But I still think there's something inside where that blower motor sits. I think something's inside it and it's hitting something, and that's what caused the original one to short circuit and blow. So I've got to have a look at that as well. But we need to get power back to the blower motor before we look at that. So let's do the fuse first and then we'll continue. But hopefully, guys, we can do this. Otherwise, it's been a complete waste of time. So I'll set you up. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys, that did not take long. Found it. So, that has blown straight through. You can see it, look, blown through. So, that was sitting on this far right-hand side there. And basically, when it's connected, the power probe, you got the end of the power probe, and you just put it on the end of the two ends of the fuse. Let me just give it a bit of power, and then it should light up on this. And it's got a even if it's red, it's got to stay red. If it goes green, it's got to stay green. So let's see, it's red, and then it's got to go red again like that. And this one, you can get red on one side, but not the other. And that's basically what happened. So now, that should work when I turn it on. So you can see, I'll turn it on here, and it works again. So, something blown that fuse. Something it did not like. And like I said to you before, when I fitted that blower motor inside that hole, it sounded like it was catching or whacking something, like a bit of plastic was going like this noise. So it's hitting something. So I hope I can find it and figure out what is going on in there. Something's down there and in there. Do you know what I mean? And then when I put it in, it's whacking it, because as you can see, it's working. So it works up here. But don't work. Well, it works when it goes in. Or is it the wires? It can't be the wires. It can't be. All he done, was he cut this off. And there's nothing. There's nothing in that, like a fuse or anything like that. That wire just goes straight up to that connector. There's nothing in this that indicates that there should be something. So I'm hoping that that's the reason why that blown that fuse, is because it was hitting something in there, and it done the motor, and it stopped the motor, maybe. I don't know, but we've got to try. So again, let's get this now back inside the dash to see if I can get this resolved once and for all. But I want to quickly have a look in there to see if it's anything in there, you know, anything in there. But that's not the original one. This is the new one as well. So I don't know which one to use. I'm gonna use the new one. Let's get set up, guys. Let's see if we can get this sorted out. But yeah, let's carry on. That's all we can do. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. This car cannot catch a break. It's not. It's beating me. This car is definitely beating me at the minute. So you just see there, I've put the new one in place, okay, and it all connects up. The wires are there. It's all good. So when I put power to the car and switch it, don't know if you can hear that. It's working, okay? It works on 1 and it works on 2. That's the new one. This is the original one here. Okay? But as soon as I switch it to 3, it don't like it. Listen. As soon as you get that speed up on number 3, it just does not like it. It's just... but there's nothing in there. I've checked. There's nothing in there that can it be hitting. So, my theory is now, is that when I'm wedging it in there, it's breaking the fins, so it's pulling it apart. It happened to this one. This is the original one. It happened to this, and I put a staple there to hold it together. Okay, but that's the only place it's happening on this one. It's right there, and I think when I'm see on 1, 2, fine. As soon as you put it up to 3, and I think because of the speed of that is going faster on 3, it's slightly opening up because it's got a crack. I reckon it's got a crack in the fins, and it's starting to slowly open up, and that's why we're getting that noise. I think it's opening up, and this plastic is hitting the side of the inside where the motor blower sits. This is so annoying. It's so annoying. But that's only a theory because I can't see in there now. It's just doing my absolute nutting, and this is not the weather to be doing this in. I've got to be honest, it really ain't. I thought I'd be alright, but I am struggling. So, what I'm going to do, this is the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take that out because this one seems to be in quite good condition. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to switch it over for the original one, and I'm going to see if that's going to make a difference, because this one seems to be a lot more, it's made a lot better, this one, the original one. So yeah, the other one's an aftermarket, brand new, but it's an aftermarket part. It kind of feels like it's a little bit flimsier. Don't know really. So yeah, we're halfway there because I've got 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 are not having it. Now I'm assuming that's what blew the fuse yesterday, was because I fixed it in, tried it on 3 or 4, and it just blew it. So yeah, all I can do is try that original one, and then we'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, I don't know what to do. But yeah, very frustrating, guys. But we have to continue, have to try. We've got to get this fixed. We cannot let this go without a motor blower working. Simple as that. So yeah, let's crack on and see how it goes. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. Oh, I tell ya, it's hard. This heat just does ya, just absolutely just zaps ya from all energy. Just doing the slightest little thing is just exhausting in here. I suppose you've got to feel sorry for people that work outside, the bin men, anyone like that works outside. You've got to feel sorry for those guys, because my God, I could not do it. Anyway, so I've switched out the new one. I just want to show you where it was. There you go, look. So it's that split there that I think I've tried to put a little bit of a staple for it, but it's not holding it properly. So I think that's the reason, is that when you get up to go past number 2, get it on 3 or 4, it just opens up a little bit too much and it creates that sort of hitting noise. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the fins. It's been hitting the fins there as well. Look at all that. Look, it's been hitting. So I think that's the problem. So I've put the original one back in the place, and let me show you. So now, two, 3, 4. So yeah, we've got it working again. Now, don't get me wrong, like, it was because, I think it's definitely because of that plug. But, you know, it's just because I was trying to wedge this new one in, it's obviously cracked it. And that's created another issue and another problem. So I've had to go back to the original one, and it, yeah, absolutely works. So that's the main thing, guys. It's working, you know. That's the main thing. But what a mission that was. And like I said, the heat just has a big effect on getting this done. I would have done this a lot quicker and got this resolved. But because of this heat, oh, yeah. So, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to see what I can get done. It should be a little bit easier now. Now that's done, it should be a little. I'm just putting screws and bolts and fixings and stuff, so it should be okay to carry on. So let's get set up. Let's get all this dash back together now that works. It wasn't, and I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, wasn't it just that fuse in the first place? No, it wasn't. I blew that fuse because I heard it pop. So I know I blew that fuse. It was definitely that connector that had blown out. That's why it had to be cut off and then put plugs back in to connect it. So yeah, let's get set up, guys. Let's see what we can get done. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys. I'm getting there. slowly putting pieces on, putting pieces back together. And it's so hot, I'm going to call it. I'm just going to call it. We're going to have to come back to this another day. Because that's it. I am melting. Proper melting. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. But at least we've got the fan working. It works again. It's just an absolute pain trying to get that in and out. Like I said to you, I showed you the new one I got. It's just not built the same, I think. It's just an aftermarket part, and it just didn't hold up to, yeah, it just kept splitting. So I think that was the noise that I showed you and kept hearing. So I went out and bought another one of them, and I went out and bought another one of these, and I didn't use them in the end. All it was really wasn't getting a connection there with that socket there. But you know, I had to test everything. I had to check everything. And there you go. It is what it is. But I'm going to leave it there. So that's going to be the end of today's video. We have got somewhere. We're a little bit further along. Not too much further along, but we are further along with this now. But we're going to come back to this another day, guys. I'm going to leave it there. That's going to be the end of today's video. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the support. Drop me a comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you soon in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.